The hospital corridor at 0237 hours was a gauntlet of fluorescent hums and scuffed linoleum. Walter Reed National Military Medical Center was at surge capacity. A training accident at Quantico and a multi-vehicle pileup on the I-495 had turned the ER into a battlefield of triage. She sat on the floor, back straight against the white wall, her legs extended. Her left arm was wrapped in a makeshift sleeve, now a dark, fist-sized patch of soaked blood. She wore plain clothes, jeans, a tactical jacket, and boots that had seen heavy miles. To the staff, she was just another face in the yellow zone. Stable, non-critical, someone who could wait. "We'll get to you when we can," a nurse called out without looking, rushing toward a coding patient in Bay 5. The woman nodded once and kept waiting. A young resident glanced at her chart. Laceration, controlled bleeding, stable vitals. He marked his tablet and moved on. A medical assistant offered a wheelchair, but the woman declined quietly. "I'm fine here." She maintained her position with a methodical, practiced endurance. No demands, no complaints. Just the steady breathing of someone who had survived far worse. 10 minutes became 40. The triage board updated constantly, but she remained yellow. Stable. Then the desk phone rang. Charge Nurse Morrison, a 20-year veteran of military medicine, answered. "Emergency department, charge Nurse Morrison." She listened, her composure suddenly fracturing. Her eyes widened. "Can you repeat that?" "Code designation Cardinal Actual." Morrison's hand clamped over the receiver. She turned to the resident. "Who came in 40 minutes ago?" "Lone patient, arm laceration, sitting near Bay 12. "I saw her chart," the resident replied, scrolling his tablet. "Harper. First name." He stopped. His face went pale. "Wait, that can't be right." Morrison grabbed the phone back. "Confirmed. She's here. Triaged as non-critical in the corridor." The voice on the other end barked an order that made Morrison's blood run cold. She slammed the phone down and hit the emergency paging system. "Dr. Reyes to the ER stat." The atmosphere shifted instantly. Morrison grabbed a passing surgical attending. "I need N or prepped now. This supersedes capacity." "Code Cardinal." The attending didn't ask questions, he ran. Security personnel throughout the hall shifted posture. Radios crackled with coded chatter as perimeter adjustments were made. Elevators paused, doors sealed. The organized chaos of the ER was suddenly replaced by military-grade choreography. A Navy commander marched into the department, his boots echoing on the tile. He spotted her, still sitting against the wall, still holding pressure on her arm. "How long has she been waiting?" the commander asked, his voice a mix of respect and horror. 47 minutes, Morrison whispered. She triaged as stable. No ID, no request for priority. "She wouldn't request it," the commander snapped. "That's not who she is." Dr. Reyes arrived at a dead run, still pulling on gloves. He had seen code cardinals for incoming VIPs, but never for a patient already sitting on the floor. He knelt in front of her, meeting her eyes at level. "Ma'am," Reyes said with professional calm. "I'm Dr. Reyes. We're taking you to surgery now." She looked at him steadily. "Others need. We're taking you now." He cut her off gently. She studied his face, recognized the non-negotiable authority, and nodded. She stood on her own. No rush, no drama. Her legs steady despite the blood loss. When Reyes gestured to a stretcher, she shook her head. "I can walk." As they moved toward the surgical wing, the staff stepped aside instinctively. A nurse glanced at the chart one last time and saw what they had all missed. A small, easy-to-overlook stamp in the corner. Cardinal SCI. Special Compartmented Information. A clearance level so high it rarely appeared on medical documents because people at that level weren't supposed to end up in public waiting rooms. "Oh my God," the nurse whispered. "She's..." "Don't..." Morrison silenced her. "Not here." At the entrance to the surgical suite, the Navy commander came to a sharp attention. It wasn't required by protocol. It was a salute between warriors. She offered a single nod in return and vanished behind the double doors. Inside the OR, Reyes worked with focused precision. The laceration was deep, sharp, and purposeful. "This is going to leave a scar," he noted. "Won't be the first," she replied, her eyes fixed on the ceiling tiles. "No," Reyes agreed, noticing the faint lines of older injuries. "I suppose it won't." A week later, she returned for a follow-up. This time, there was no waiting. She was called back within 3 minutes. The nurse who escorted her paused at the door. "Ma'am, I want to apologize for not recognizing." "You did your job," the woman interrupted. "Exactly as you should have. You can't treat what you don't see. That's not your failure." She left as quietly as she had arrived. But this time, the eyes of the staff followed her with a different kind of awareness. They had learned a lesson that would linger long after the Code Cardinal memo was filed away. Silence isn't always weakness. Sometimes it's the highest form of strength. And the highest clearance isn't found on a badge. It's written in scars, earned in service, and carried with a quiet dignity that refuses to demand the spotlight, even when bleeding out in the dark.